Hello students, in this video we're going to learn class 8 social science, social and political life, that is civics, chapter number 9, public facilities. Here is your first topic, water and the people of Chennai. Anna Nagar, Chennai is an area lush and green with lawns maintained by generous spraying of water. Tap water is regular for the major part of the day in this area. On the days that water supply is inadequate, the residents can speak to the senior officials of the municipal water board and a water tanker is arranged for their houses. Meanwhile, Mylapore suffers from water shortage and gets municipal water once in 2 days. A private borewell meets some of the residents' water needs. However, borewell water is brackish, so the residents use it in their toilets and for washing. And for other uses, water is purchased from tankers at a cost of rupees 500 to 600 monthly. Then, the Madipakam area gets water once every 4 days. For drinking purposes, residents have to buy bottled water. Saidapet slum is another area where some hutments have neither a bathroom nor a tap connection. For 30 such hutments, there is a common tap at one corner in which water comes from a borewell for 20 minutes twice a day, during which time a family gets to fill a maximum of 3 buckets. The same water is used for washing and drinking. In summer, the flow becomes a trickle so that one family gets water only at the cost of another. People have to wait long hours for water tankers. And students, here is the condition of water in the area of Chennai. And here comes to your next topic. Water as part of the fundamental right to life. Water is essential for life and good health. It is necessary to meet our daily needs. Safe drinking water also prevents many water-related diseases. Above 1,600 Indians, most of whom are children below the age of 5, die every day because of water-related diseases such as diarrhea, dysentery, cholera, and so on. Access to safe drinking water can help prevent these deaths. Right to water is a part of the right to life under Article 21 of the Constitution. Hence, it is the right of every person, whether rich or poor, to have sufficient amount of water to fulfill his or her daily needs at a price that he or she can afford. In other words, there should be universal access to water. Even both the High Court and the Supreme Court have held in certain cases that the right to safe drinking water is a fundamental right. And here comes to your next topic, public facilities. Other essential public facilities apart from water provided to everyone include healthcare and sanitation. And things like electricity, public transport, schools and colleges are also necessary. The main important characteristic of a public facilities is that once it is provided, its benefits can be shared by many peoples. And the government's role. The government has the responsibility of providing public facilities to the people. They have to ensure that these facilities are made available to everyone. Private companies operate for profit in the market. In most of the public facilities, there is no profit to be had. Hence, a private company will probably not be interested in undertaking such work. However, for some public facilities such as schools and hospitals, private companies may be interested. And in a city, some private companies also provide water through tankers or supply drinking water in sealed bottles, but it is not available at affordable rates. Living by rule that people will get as much as they can pay for will ensure that many people who cannot afford to pay will be deprived of the opportunity to live a decent life. Public facilities relate to public basic needs. The right to life, that The Constitution's guarantees ease for all persons living in this country. The responsibility to provide public facilities, therefore, must be that of the government. And here comes your next subtopic. Where does the government get money for public facilities? And every year, the government budget is presented in the parliament. This is an account of the expenses that government has made on its program in the past year and how much it plans to spend in the coming year. And water supply to Chennai, is it available to all? Now we're going to discuss in this topic. Public facilities should be made available to all. However, this is a shortage of such facilities, and water supply in Chennai is marked by shortages. Municipal supply meets only about half the needs of the people of the city on an average. In some areas, the water supply is more regular than other. Areas close to the shortage points get more water, whereas colonies further away receive less water. The burden of shortfalls in water supply falls mostly on the poor. The middle class, when faced with water shortage, are able to cope through a variety of private means such as digging borewells, buying water from tankers, and using bottled water for drinking. Access to safe drinking water is also available to some, and this depends on what one can afford. It seems that it is only people with money who have the right to water, a far cry from the goal of universal access to sufficient and safe water, and in search of alternatives. The situation in Chennai is not unique. A similar scenario of shortage and acute crisis during the summer months is common to other cities of India. The shortage in municipal water is increasingly being filled by an expansion of private companies who are selling water for profit. Also common is the great inequalities in water use. And the supply of water per person in an urban area in India should be about 135 liters per day, about 7 buckets, a standard set by the Urban Water Commissions, whereas people in slums have to make do with less than 20 liters a day per person, 1 bucket, and people living in luxury hotels may consume as much as 1,600 liters, that is 80 buckets of water per day. And shortage of municipal water translates to a sign of government failure. And some people believe that the government is unable to supply the amount of water because the municipal water departments are at loss, and so private companies should be allowed to take over. They will be able to do better. And now, let us consider the following facts. Throughout the world, water supply is a function of the government. There are very few instances of private water supply, and there are areas in the world where the public water supply has achieved universal access. In a few cases where the responsibility for water supply was handed over to private companies, and there was a steep rise in the price of water, making it unaffordable for many. Cities saw huge protests, with riots breaking out in places like Bolivia, forcing the government to take back the service from private hands. And within India, there are a few cases of success in government water departments limited to certain areas of their work. The water supply departments in Mumbai raises enough money via water charges to cover its expenses on supplying water. And in Hyderabad, a report shows that the government has increased coverage and improved performance in revenue collection. And in Chennai, the department has taken several initiatives for harvesting rainwater to increase the level of groundwater. And it has also used the services of private companies for transporting and distributing water, but the government water supply department decides the rates for water tankers and gives them permission to operate. Hence, they are called on contract. Public facilities relate to our basic needs, and the Indian Constitution recognizes the right to water health, education, etc. as being a part of the right to life. And one of the major roles of the government is to ensure adequate public facilities for everyone. But there is a shortage in supply and there are inadequacies in distributions. And compared to the metros and large cities, towns and villages are underprovided, while compared to wealthy localities, the poorer localities are underserviced. Handing over these facilities to private companies is not the answer. The solution needs to take account of the important fact that every citizen of the country has a right to these facilities, which should be provided to him or her in an equitable manner. So student, with this we have completed your chapter number 9. I hope you all understood what we have learned or what we have explained so far. Your remaining chapters will explain in upcoming videos.